Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is one of the first big releases of 2017. It's one of the titles that I personally was really looking forward to, and in this video I want to try and explain to you what the game is all about, but ultimately to make the purchasing decision for you a little bit easier. Is this a game that you might find interesting, and is this something you want to go ahead and spend your hard-earned money on? I ended up playing and completing the PC version of the game, so that is what I'm basing this review off of as well. Resident Evil 7 is a survival horror game, and the game does a very good job at exactly that. You have to make sure that you survive in a horror genre, and I'm not gonna lie, at certain times, this game is absolutely terrifying. Now, for those of you wondering, well, is this the 7th title in a series of games? You don't need to know the full story, and you can play this just totally fine as a standalone as well. The very first Resident Evil came out, I believe, back in 1996, but it's not like you need to have played that one, although there are references back and forth between the previous titles and this one as well.
Damn.
I don't think the horror part really needs any explaining, but as far as surviving goes, for the most part, that means that you're gonna be scavenging all over the map and you're gonna try and check out every single corner just to stay alive and get all of the resources that you need, either to progress onwards or to make sure that you stay alive. Besides that, the game is also full of puzzles. They're not super difficult, but in many instances it is going to take you at least a little bit of time to figure out exactly what the key combination will be or how you can go ahead and open up a door.
I gotta get back to work. I love you, Ethan. I miss you so much. I'm sending tons of kisses. Bye, baby.
Ethan. You were right. I did lie to you. I shouldn't have, but all I can say is that if you get this, stay away.
The main character in this game is Ethan Winters. We follow his story as he all of a sudden receives an email from his presumed to be dead wife after not talking to her for 3 years. She went missing and he decides to go after the location that she mentions in the email. However, as soon as he gets to the house, he figures out that something is not quite right, and without spoiling the story too much for you, things are pretty messed up. What I can say, however, is that the story does do a very good job at making you feel sort of helpless. You are caught in this house and you're trying to figure out where your wife went, and eventually, while we do learn more, oftentimes you do find yourself to be pretty alone and just barely making it through.
It's not here. It's gone. It's gone!
And while the game won't win any literature prizes for best storytelling in a video game, it definitely is still very enjoyable to play through at the very least once. Now next up, let's go ahead and talk about the graphics, because as you may have already noticed, it looks absolutely incredible. There are fully flushed out settings as well in the options menu of the game, which makes it so that you can adjust the game to whatever system you are running on. All the footage you are watching in this video is recorded in 4K on near maximum graphics settings. All that I turned down are the anti-aliasing as well as the motion blur. We are slowly but surely getting to the point where games are becoming photorealistic, and this game is definitely a step in the right direction. The constant darkness in the game, as well as the light sources, definitely help out with the storytelling, as you have to go ahead and move from bright spot to bright spot if you want to try and make it through. It does a great job at adding more atmosphere to the game, and I would say the graphics are definitely top-notch. One of the cool things about this game as well is that you can indeed play this game in virtual reality. So if you have any kind of VR yourself, you can indeed try and attempt to play this game in your VR headset. For the most part, I probably wouldn't really do that because the game is already absolutely terrifying as it is, and I personally don't own any VR. But from what I've heard, it works just fine. And although it might be absolutely terrifying and you may have, you know, some bad dreams for a week or two, for the most part, it should be an absolutely great experience as well when you are not running with VR. Another great part of the game is the music and the sound effects. The old house creaks and is full of strange noises. There are amazing sound effects just like that, and usually while the music can be a little bit telling of what is about to happen, for example, you hear some very terrifying noises when a monster is near or whatever, in general, it definitely does set the mood very, very well. And on top of that, the voice acting is surprisingly strong. It's really, really good. So as far as the graphics and the music and the sound effects go, really no complaints whatsoever.
Hello? Hey, It's Ethan.
Oh, hey. You alright? You just disappeared the other night.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. It's Mia. She's not dead, she's alive. She's back.
However, let's talk about some of the weaker aspects of this game. In my opinion, both the boss design as well as the monster design is a little bit lackluster. While we don't face that many bosses throughout the entirety of the game, they do feel a little bit clunky and even buggy at times. And while the boss fights are by no means bad, for the most part, it sort of feels like it takes a lot of tension away from the game. While before any of the fights and after any of the fights, you're slowly but surely progressing through the story, all of a sudden you have to do this fight over and over and over again, and in some instances you don't even really know if you're damaging the boss to begin with. Throughout the game, you will also encounter monsters, and for the most part, those also all feel pretty similar. Basically, all of the monsters that you do encounter, however, are variations of the exact same concept. Some are a little bit smaller and some crawl on all fours, but really, other than that, they are all pretty similar. All you really need to do, and this may sound very obvious, is shoot at them, but there's really no strategy involved when it comes to killing them. Just simply shoot them in the head, and you'll be alright. As far as shooting them goes, there are quite a few weapons in the game, and those are all very solid. They all have a different kind of punch to them, and they all behave a little bit differently as well. The weapon design definitely is on point. Another aspect of the game that I personally disliked is the inventory management. This may sound very minor, but throughout the entirety of the game, you're constantly scavenging for new items, and oftentimes I find myself sort of playing Tetris with my inventory, which can be a little bit bothersome. And this may be something that has only really happened to me, but I found a whole lot of items that I didn't really see a whole lot of use for. I mean, there are, for example, items that help separate other items into several components as well. I used those things exactly 0 times throughout the entirety of the game, which may be something just due to me, but the game doesn't really explain those kind of things, which I guess has its own charm as well. But for me, I ended up finishing the game with a ton of stuff back in my chest. As far as the control, however, goes, I would say both the mouse and keyboard as well as the controller work out just fine. I usually am a mouse and keyboard kind of guy, but I actually ended up running the majority of the game with a controller. However, one of the parts where I would switch over to the mouse and keyboard is whenever combat was involved, because I mean, shooting people with a mouse is just simply, for me at the very least, much more comfortable, and I think most people will have an easier time aiming with a mouse than with a controller. But other than that, you can definitely use either methods, and there's definitely no issues with it whatsoever. However, one of the things that I do want to point out once again when it comes to the inventory management, it definitely feels like it was designed with the controller and the console in mind first. So the storyline is solid, the music is beautiful, the sound effects are great, and the graphics look amazing as well. As far as the bad parts of the game, however, go, I would say both the monster as well as the boss design could have been better. Now, whether or not this is something that you want to go ahead and pick up yourself is a bit of a difficult question. My very first playthrough of the game, I ended up looking in pretty much every single corner that I could find, and I tried looting as many items as possible. And it took me just 1 second under 12 hours to complete the entirety of the game. And for a fully priced title, I mean, at the time of me recording this video, the regular version of the game without the season pass is actually €50. The question is that worth it for you? I would say if you are a regular gamer and you are, trying to play through the story, it will probably take you anywhere between like 8 to 15 hours or so, depending on how much time you spend exploring. And for the most part, that really isn't a whole lot of content for the full-priced title. On top of that, the replayability of the game is definitely not that great. I mean, you do unlock a different, more difficult version of the game after completing the storyline once, but that's basically where that ends. You would be playing through the exact same storyline once again, just with a more difficult fight ahead of you. But that is not to say that this game is not worth playing. It's absolutely great, it's great at what it does, it's a survival horror game, and usually while the replayability may not be amazing, if you enjoy this kind of game, this is definitely the best that is out there right now. However, if you're not entirely sure if you want to go ahead and get this game right now, I would probably go ahead and wait for a sale instead. If you don't need to play this game right now, this is definitely one of those titles that will be discounted within the near future, and you will probably be able to get like 50% off in just about a half year or so from now, and I think that would be an absolutely awesome price for a great game. All things considered though, a very beautiful game, solid title, would highly recommend playing it if you can get around the monster and the boss design, because it is a unique experience, and I mean, come on, the graphics, they just look absolutely beautiful, they are insane. I hope this video made the purchasing decision for you a little bit easier. Let me know down below in the comment section of this video whether or not you're gonna go ahead and pick up this game as well, or maybe you've already played and completed it. Let me know as well what your thoughts on it are. Other than that, if you enjoyed watching this video, please hit that like button because it does help me out a lot. And on top of that, you can also subscribe so you get notifications as soon as I upload more. While you're at it, you can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Links are in the description. I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And I will see you in the next one.